Hey guys, we're back out in the shop today, and we're going to be working on a part for my lathe. Um, I'm kind of excited today because I get to use this tool that I really like. It removes a whole lot of metal really fast. It is a 5 insert carbide insert, basically a fly cutter, and it just makes a tremendous amount of metal chips as it cuts across the metal. So primarily today I'll be using the milling machine. And what I'm working on, let me adjust the camera. Okay, so I wanted to have the capability of making balls, knobs, such as that on my lathe. So I went online and I purchased this ball turning attachment for my lathe. Can't see that very well. Move it back over here. And basically the way it works, it mounts on my lathe, and I turn the handle like this, and this bit makes a radius on whatever I'm working on. And it's adjustable in and out to adjust for different size balls, knobs, whatever you're making. It is a universal tool, which means it doesn't do anything very well, and it definitely does not fit every machine. So after getting the tool and unboxing it and setting it up on my lathe, I realized not only is it at least an inch too short, whenever I mount it on my lathe, it's too far back. So what I've decided to do is take this 1 inch steel plate, and I'm going to machine it to where it fits on my lathe, and then I will machine this end to where I can mount the tool. And ultimately this part of the tool will go away. It's too short by about an inch. And as luck would have it, on a project that I just did on the $25 bandsaw, I just happened to have this piece of metal left over from that project. And lo and behold, look at that. It's pretty close. It's going to give me the extra elevation that I need, as well as a lot more adjustability so that I can do various sizes of balls. So, like I said, it'll be on the milling machine primarily. I won't complete this part today. My objective today is to get the plate machined and to where it fits on the table. And then I'll shoot another video of finishing out the actual cutting tool. So, let's get cracking. Okay, we got the part cinched up in the vise. I've got the tool in. I'm going to go ahead and make a light cut across it just to see how much material I need to take off. I'm sure the cut is not perfectly flat, so got a little sex butter on it, and we're going to fire it up and see how she does. All right, so now that we got the tops and two sides squared and nice and flat, I'll go ahead and take 3/4 inch end mill, and we'll cut off of this to square it all up and get rid of these ugly cuts, and then we'll start drilling and tapping our holes for the mount. Okay, so now that we got the main part of the milling done on the plate, what we'll do, I'll go to the lathe and I'll take my measurements for the bolts that actually go through, and I'll put it back in the vise and drill through these, and then I got to counter bore them because the studs on my lathe are too short to come all the way through. So what I'll do is I'll drill them, counter bore them, and then I'll make some recessed nuts that'll go down kind of like lug nuts on a car tire, and that'll hold the plate in position. And then the last thing I'll do, probably today, will be to mount the centering lug that centers everything up on the lathe. Okay, now that I've got everything center punch measured out, I'll go ahead and punch these 2 holes, and that'll be the actual bolt holes that that will hold this plate to the lathe. And then I'll move down here and I'll put on the other 2 holes that'll bolt the ball turning attachment to this plate. Okay, so this measurement was 3 inches, 804 thousandths. So I'll cut that in half, and we'll drill and tap. I'm going to do a 3/8 16 bolt here. Okay, so this is an inch thick piece of steel, and I don't want to break this tap off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start it in the chuck just to get it started, and then I'll take over manually from there. Shit. Okay, now that I've got the broke tap out, I've already located the 2 holes that are going to mount the ball turning attachment itself. So I've got a center drill in the chuck. I'm ready to center drill them, drill and tap those. I'll get that bolted together, and then I'll build the bearing for this end down here. Apparently, whenever I went to drill the hole for the 3/8 16 tap, I picked up the wrong drill bit. It was undersized, which caused the tap to bind, break, and while I was off camera, I kind of calmed down a little bit, re-drilled the hole, ran a new tap through it, and so that part's behind me. So I'll go ahead and drill and tap these holes, put it together, and I'll call this project tonight, and I'll pick up on it later. Okay, now that I got the holes drilled, I'm going to go ahead and run a stone across the top of the holes, just to knock any burrs that may be there down. Okay, so if this got confusing to anyone, I'll just show you right quick. how this thing works. This will bolt onto the cross head or cross assembly of my lathe, and it will actually turn pointing and facing at the chuck so that I have all my controls well enough out of the way. And the way this works is I'll touch off on the end, and then I'll touch off on the back side. Actually, I've got that backwards, I'm sorry. There we go. I'll touch off on this end, spin it around, touch off on this end to get my adjustment correct. And then as the lathe turns, I'll be able to put this radius on or completely go back the other side and create a ball. That's why it's called a ball turning attachment. So I'm going to stop there for now. The only thing I have left is to build the nuts, the little aluminum bearing, and to build this part. So I'm going to call it a night. It's been kind of a frustrating day with the tap breaking, and it's a big heavy chunk of metal. I'm kind of tired, so anyway, I'll do part 2 of the video as soon as I can. It may be next weekend before I can get back out in the shop with Christmas and everything, but I hope you guys liked it. If you did, hit that like button and comment if you want to. Tell me what you think. I'm going to call it a day. Go inside, get something to eat, watch a movie, get ready for work tomorrow. Hey, if I don't see you guys or hear from you guys between now and then, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Have a good one.